Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion by the Honourable Leader and Prime Minister and member for number 8. I also wish to give my support to the amendments in this bill, Madam Speaker, because you see, this move to move cannabis into the realm of agriculture is revolutionary. It speaks to a holistic vision that speaks to the truth. Cannabis is a crop, Madam Speaker, Madam Deputy, and for too long it has been treated not like it ought to have been. And as a crop, its development should be aligned with the overall development of the agricultural sector. And so moving the mechanisms into the realm of agriculture speaks to the alignment that should be taken when it comes to the development of cannabis. You see, we have been, and I would dare say, brainwashed over the years, because we have been taught to look at cannabis as something alien and far-fetched and something that we should not embrace. But how dare we take a plant that if you drop the seed to the earth, nature taking its course will ensure that that tree grows? How dare we take God's work and make it something that is villainized? And so you see, moving this into the realm of agriculture helps to shape that new vision of what cannabis ought to be seen as. It ought to be seen as a crop, as a plant, a high-value one, yes, but a plant. And so our farmers, whether you want to call them ganja farmers or whatever farm, will now be able to legally, with the passage of this bill, cultivate and utilize their skills within the field of medicinal cannabis. And when we look at that, Madam Speaker, and the value it has gained internationally and globally, we then see the possibilities for the development of our agricultural sector. The last time we had a crop that generated hundreds of millions of dollars would have probably been sugar in St. Kitts and Nevis. Since then, our agriculture sector has plummeted from leading our gross domestic product contribution to just over 1%. And Madam Speaker, we are saying now, here's a chance to revive agriculture, diversify our economy, and ensure that the agriculture sector can move again to contributing hundreds of millions of dollars to our economy. I think that is what we are here asking for as a country. You see, Madam Speaker, for the last few years, we have found the CBI, I can't even say industry, because that's part of the tourism industry, but the contributions made by our Citizenship by Investment program has been really carrying our country and doing very well. And we commend that. But we recognize the challenges faced in that sector. And if today or tomorrow, God forbid, the plug is pulled on that sector, what do we do? And here's a chance for us to diversify. And we are diversifying this by putting a plant in its rightful place and ensuring that it can make its own contribution to our society. I also support, Madam Speaker, the amendment which allows for the additional names and the additional persons to the board. Because in the development of a significant aspect such as this, we must be guided by all the right advice. We cannot do this wrong and hope to correct it later. And so, as we move along and develop this entire scope on how we approach this, I believe by including more voices, we can have better advice. Madam Speaker, this is our attempt at the saying, do it right, do it once. Do it right, do it once. And I believe we're doing this in this way. We are doing it right, and we are going to be able to say, we did it right, so we only have to do it once. But I also want to speak on something that our Prime Minister alluded to, Madam Speaker. I had a chance to visit Southern University and visit a number of their different faculties, and one of which was their medicinal cannabis development and production. And when I looked at what they are doing at Southern University with the development of medicinal cannabis, we can do that here quite easily. In fact, I believe we are even better positioned to do that here, given our natural resource and all that we have available to us. And when I think about what that means to the young man in Old Road, to the young man in Godwin Gut, to the young man in Challengers, to the young man in Phillips's, to the young man in Monkey Hill, to the young man up the village, to the young man down in St. Paul's. It means that no longer do they have to run and hide and duck away deep into our forests for simply developing a skill that is globally recognized as a trade. It means that they could come now and license with the authority. It means that they could now do what they love doing, knowing that they are playing a legal trade for the benefit of our overall society. This is what we promised them, to lead out with a medicinal cannabis industry. And here, promise made, promise kept. So, Madam Speaker, as I stand here, it is with pride, because I enjoy the work that we are doing here as an administration. I enjoy working with this team who have remained committed to every single commitment. When I heard the Attorney General say earlier on that this would be the most rigorous time for legislation within this term, and to see the amount of times, Madam Deputy, that we have been in this House so far for the year, I'm sure we all can agree that he has kept that commitment. Madam Deputy, when our member for number 8 and Prime Minister said that he will advance health care, and we see all the work that has been going on, and he gave some updates just this morning. But let us also remember, we're here talking about medicinal cannabis. Again, another strong advancement in healthcare. Yes. Commitment made, commitment kept. Madam Speaker, when we talk about creating a sustainable island state, and we recognize the move towards increasing our GDP through our environmental sustainability and practices. Here we are talking about growing our GDP by the planting and cultivating of cannabis, by the nurturing of seeds into a crop, sustainable harvesting and processing of a crop, and increasing our national revenue. Again, commitment made, commitment kept. This is what this is all about, Madam Speaker. And so the amendments to this Act contributes to the development of all of this, ensuring that we have the right vision, the right alignment to ensure that what we are saying on paper can be translated to the ground and the development of our people. And so I second this with pride. I stand here beaming with pride, knowing that the A-team here, this administration, our good government, is keeping its commitments to its people and doing what it has to do in working and developing this industry. And so, Madam Speaker, without any further ado, because I think they are generally very clear amendments to the Act, I just wish this safe passage, Madam Speaker, and to say again, I'm happy for these commitments made and commitments kept. Thank you.